Hi, this is Ms. McLean, and this is going to be a quick video about interpreting the calculator screen. So regardless if you're using the TI-83, 84 calculator or the TI-30, you're going to have a similar problem to this on your test, and they usually put one like this on the final as well, okay? So that's why I decided to make a little mini video of an example of this problem, okay? So if you're using the TI-8384 calculator, you are going to see this screen at some point, okay? So you need to understand what these variables are. And if you understand what the variables are, then you can actually answer these questions, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the first one. It says, state the null and alternate hypothesis. So our hypothesis is actually going to come from all the way up at the top of the screen where we see mu. Okay, so you can see right here, mu is not equal to 46. That is actually our alternate hypothesis. So that's the one that's given to us. So that would tell me a two-tailed test and so forth, okay? The null, we know the null is always equal to that mu, to that mean of the population, okay? So there's the null, there's my alternate, okay? So the calculator screen gives you the alternate, and from there, you should better figure out your null, okay? Question 2, what is the value of the test statistic? So the test statistic, remember, is a z. So if we go to our formula, test statistic, standard deviation known would be a z, okay? So in your calculator, it should change to t for your standard deviation unknown, okay? So this one, or z, is our test statistic. So that's the value 2.275528071. So don't round unless they tell you to round, and of course, round accordingly if they tell you to round, okay? Next question, what is the p-value? So it's kind of obvious. We see p equals 2. It should be a lowercase p. Word just automatically capitalized it, and I forgot to go back and correct it, okay? So there's our p-value. I'm going to put a 0 in front, though, just to emphasize where that decimal is. You don't have to put the 0 in front, but know that the calculator screen might not show that 0 here, okay? So again, I like to do it to emphasize where that decimal is, right? So that's our p-value. Now we are asked to answer the question if we're going to reject the null at a certain alpha level. And then for the last one, we're going to change that alpha level to see if our decision changes any, okay? So we're going to use the p-value method in order to determine if we're going to reject the null, okay? That method is easiest in this situation because I don't know what my critical value is. I can figure it out from the information given, but it's just easier if we just use the p-value that's given, okay? So to reject, we need to know if p is less than or equal to alpha. So if it's less than alpha, then that's when we reject the null. Okay, so that's what our note says. So let's go ahead and substitute. So let's first do our p-value, and I'm not going to put the whole thing in because it's kind of a ridiculously long value. Okay, so a couple decimal places should be good enough. Is this less than or equal to? That's our question to alpha. So we're just substituting. So now I'm going to compare. So my first decimal is 0. My next one is 2 and a 5. Is 2 less than 5? Yes. So since 2 is less than 5, p is less than alpha, which tells me to reject the null. So yes, we are rejecting the null at the 0.05 level, okay? We're going to repeat that process, except now we're going to interchange 0.05 for 0.10. So here's our p-value, here's our alpha, and again, I want to compare, is this less than? So we have our 0, and then we have a 1 for the first decimal. 0 is less than 1, So once again, this is true, therefore we reject null once again, okay? So that's how you interpret your calculator screen in order to answer these questions. If you have any further questions, don't be afraid to email me, and good luck studying.